Welcome to Season 4 of Casual Camping Podcast, your home for the best camping discussion both in and out of the field. Here are your hosts, Tim and Ade.
Welcome to this week's episode of Casual Camping Podcast, where we are going to talk about all things camping related. Sort of. I'm Tim.
Is it not just a big this is Tim and Ade getting drunk in a different city podcast? That's what it felt like last week, Tim.
Oh my God, did it feel like
I made,
that
by
week?
the way.
Yeah, it did feel like that last week. We were Liverpool last week, and I hope everybody enjoyed the longest episode ever put out by this show of 92 minutes of new camping goodness that we put out last week. If you haven't listened to it, who the hell are you? What are you doing here?
Yes, well, there was a lot to get through. We saw an awful lot. There was some great stuff there, and yeah, I'm really pleased that we can share that with people. I think there's quite a lot of people liking the Yeti 8.
Yeah, and that's really what we're talking about this week, isn't it? It's we're talking the trend from the show was really day coolers, wasn't it? The term day cooler was being used by a lot of different brands, and that Yeti 8 that's was it Sarah from Yeti was talking about the day cooler. It was cool. It was really cool. It's
I mean, I think, you know, it had gone back to that original kind of shape with the handle, and I really liked it. And, you know, is it something that you'd pop in your car if you're like going on a long journey? Is it something that you'd use for work? What are those things? Is it that you're going to the park and you're meeting up with mates? I mean, I'd lose that blooming thing later. I'd be like, well, what do I do with my Yeti cooler? Like, you know.
Well, yeah,
we lost each other in Liverpool, so.
How gutted would you be if you lost a Yeti cooler? Oh my god!
Has anybody handed that in? No, of course not. It's a Yeti.
To be honest, it was that small. People would have gone, yeah, it's a bit of a fake. It's not a real. It's not a real Yeti. It's too small. It's not usable. Only joking, Yeti. Only joking, Yeti. What was funny was, I'm sure Sarah said it's not available to next year. I've seen it in a shop online already.
Have you now?
Yeah. So that really good camping shop, an outdoor shop down in Falmouth, where I've been a couple of times, called the Bosun's something or other. Down in Falmouth, the name you think I should remember it because I do a podcast. They had it on their website today. The Roadie 8 in stock now was what they were saying.
Well, because we talked about it, and then I realised, was that one of the ones that we weren't supposed to take pictures of and stuff? And then she talked about it as well, so I was like, you know what? Let's just put it out there. I think it's available late summer.
Yes. Bosun's Locker in Falmouth. Bosun's Locker.
Well, and, obviously you can get some ahead of the... What? They do it in different colours?
They do it in different colours. They've got it in a grey down in the Bosun's Locker.
What?
Yeah.
I saw the white. Please tell me they do a crab snatch.
Deadliest snatch colour.
Crab snatch. We just call it crab snatch from now on, Tim. King crab, snatcheroo.
It's a bit nippy.
Well, brilliant. There was loads of coolers there, wasn't there? And I guess that's prompted us to think about, you know, some of the things we talked to people about, some of the interesting facts. Oh, well, not interesting to anybody that doesn't like coolers, but, you know,
The interesting thing I thought, and not to just hover on Yeti, but day coolers to me are predominantly soft coolers.
mm,
They're things that you're not wanting to keep cold for more than about 10 hours, at the absolute most. It's a
mm,
cooler that you're putting, some lunch in it, you're putting some cold drinks in it, you might be just putting beers in it for the beach or something like that. And they're cold things that go in, so you don't need to pack it with loads of ice because you're not expecting to keep it cold for like 2 or 3 days. Um, but Yeti have, they do the soft coolers, but they've purposefully gone with a hard cooler and called it a hard day cooler,
mm.
which I think they're certainly the only. Well, no, actually, I was going to say they were the only day cooler ones that were doing a hard one, but they weren't at all because the Igloo were doing hard day coolers as well, which again is kind of a a newish concept, really. It was just
Well,
interesting that some companies are kind of moving away almost from the really soft coolers to the hard, rotor molded, high performance cooler, but a cooler that you can only fit, a packed lunch and a 4-pack in.
yeah, yeah. Because that's also, there were some smaller, like, lunch pack kind of stuff, so that,
Mm,
you were going on like you said, day cooler stuff for lunches, meeting up at the park or whatever. Uh, I think, and we were talking to somebody about their coolers, which they had some real good things, but they were saying, what's the things that people hate about soft coolers? It's those zips that lock up and stuff.
yeah.
And so they had different kind of wasn't it magnets that they've got to
Yeah.
open and close, so that, like the cooler that you've got where it's got a bit at the top that you can dip into, so
Yeah.
you're not opening the whole one. I really liked the fact, and this is a top tip for anybody out there at the minute, because I messed up a couple of weeks ago when we had the really hot weather and my Yeti was warmer inside than it was outside. I thought I'd put hot food in there.
Didn't it didn't
But
it didn't it hiss when you opened the lid?
it did. It absolutely did. Like I'd opened a can. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm never going to live this down." But I know my mistake, and I guess what in talking about it on here, you can get it wrong sometimes. I didn't expect it to be that hot. I'm not justifying myself here, but I'm just saying, actually, don't. Those Yeti coolers are not dead to me like most other things would be if they failed. You know what I mean? I'm
I know what
like,
you mean.
I still love them. I just need to get better at flipping doing that. But it was a mixture of, I didn't have enough ice to start with. I had chilled down my beers, but I should have chilled them down even more, and thrown stuff in. But we were talking to one guy who was saying that they developed these blankets to go in the top.
Mm,
He said we'd seen in North America people using yoga mats, cutting them up to the exact size of their coolers. So air in your cooler is the worst thing. So as your ice starts to melt and you get this warmer pocket above, that will make your ice melt quicker.
mm.
So people have been doing that, and it sort of compresses so that it slows your ice down from going all the way. So yeah, I love that idea, and anybody can make it, even though that company are going to bring theirs out. So, Tim, are you going to remember what that company was called? Because I'm sure as hell can't.
Thanks for throwing me under the bus. We
I threw us
we
both under, to be
we
honest.
spoke to them for ages, and they were really
Uh,
nice, and they were
Canadian
they were
company.
Canadian and new in the UK, and we said we're going to come back and speak to you the following day. We didn't take any damn pictures, and we were that busy the following day. We never actually got back to speak to them before we had to leave for the train. So
we're on busy, hungover. We were on a bit of a go slow then, weren't we?
You're literally throwing me under another bus there, Ed.
You posted the picture of us having the best night out in Liverpool with the best people.
It was a good night out, wasn't it?
I can't remember. Yes, I can remember. I can remember that that £45 breakfast the following morning.
Bloody hell! Bloody hell! Anything with a smear of avocado on, and it's just like there's like a £20 tax on it, isn't it? It's like Jesus.
Well,
I don't even like avocado.
But yeah, we'll post pictures of that said company because we can ask a few
of that breakfast.
The coolers. Let's get back to it.
No, I really liked their coolers, and we will get the name of the company because they were made of the coolers themselves were the same technology or similar technology to self-inflating sleeping mats. So they really collapsed down to absolutely nothing. They folded in a very unique way and had certain clips on them that meant they were incredibly stable cubes when they were made and inflated. And because they were a self-inflating mat with a decent R rating, similar technology, it actually meant that thermal properties wise, they were really good coolers, but completely collapsed to next to nothing for when you're not actually using them, which was brilliant. But their idea for actually this, taking the air out by putting a layer down on top of your what you've got in your cool box, separating it from, because as you're taking things out, there's more and more air in there and the ice is melting. What that did was it sort of gave a new lid to where the where your items and ice was still in there, which meant that the slightly warmer air that was sitting above all of that actually wasn't melting the ice and warming things up. Really good idea. I mean, they're going to patent that and bring that out and for their coolers. But actually, if you haven't got their cooler, a yoga mat, some foam, a self-inflating seat mat, again, thermal properties. Lay that on top of stuff inside your cool box, and you'll get even more performance out of it. Massive top tip, particularly for day coolers, where actually you aren't carrying all that volume of ice. Your cooling properties are coming from the items that you're putting in and how cold they are, because you haven't got room really for a load of ice and cool packs and things like that, because day coolers by nature are smaller.
So I think a layer of something that will, whether that's foam, whether it's insulation kind of board or whatever that's cut to size, brilliant. But I think they were also talking about the fact that they had an ice gel pack that would fit their coolers as well, which was amazing. And we were like, you were trying to sell them that, that'll do yours, but maybe you should sell for others. And I think it was a good idea, Tim, but he was there to sell his products.
It was. I was just trying to say, if you did that in the general sizes of
if you own the paper, if you own the patent for it,
then bring it out in other companies' sizes, and suddenly you'll sell more of that than you will the cooler, because actually people have already got a cooler. They don't always want to go and buy another cooler, but if you can sell me something that will make the cooler I already own even more efficient, then suddenly that product is gonna fly. Maybe that's the product we patent really quickly, Ed, the universal cooler gel pack that we do really quick, and that's the thing that means we can retire from our day jobs.
No. I mean, I've got to 55 years old, and I was like, yeah, okay, let's agree to do that, Tim, and then not do it.
You know what?
Know what I mean?
we've reinvented so many things and come up with so many brilliant ideas on this podcast, and not one single one of them have we carried forward.
Yeah, we've got day jobs. We like talking about stuff, and I think what being at the show was really, everybody else was quite serious. There's a lot of seriousness with
Yeah.
buyers, and I'm trying to sell you this. I hope our energy came across that we were the consumer that people want, that we're the end user. We want to go and buy it. We like the new shape. We like the
Totally.
differences of stuff. And, we were kids in a toy shop.
Yeah. We were the excited puppies. We were just very, very excited to be racing around and looking at everything. I think that came across in the episode last week, and I hope that came across to the companies that we met, because they were very gracious in giving us their time, because actually their time was really precious, because they're very expensive stands there, and they need to sign contracts and sign deals for the next 12, 18 months. And there's you and me there going, tell us about that fridge. With my microphone with its furry hamster cover on.
It's yeah. I think as well, the coolers were the big thing, and certainly the soft coolers that folded down into them, which also was very much like the Snap and Go from Coleman that we saw earlier in the year. Those collapsible that push down. This was a soft cooler that we saw, but I think that in itself was just so much thinking outside the box to, fix those problems that people got. I've got a whole sort of side of my shed that's got Yeti in it because they're blooming big boxes.
Yeah.
Okay, most of them have stuff in, but it's just that, people are thinking about those differences. And if most people are going away for a weekend. It's not like you're going away for 2 weeks every single time, so you need the massive coolers.
Yeah.
Most people are going away for a night or two. And I think that's the difference. If you're looking at like a new cooler or something else, hold on, there's some things coming.
There are, and but specifically that sort of day cooler, that seems to be like the emerging part of the market, because they've done, everybody sort of raced initially, didn't they, at making a cooler that could go 4 or 5 days, and the big coolers, and everybody, bigger was better, and then everybody's kind of gone for the soft coolers and the slightly smaller coolers that can go sort of 48 hours, the 48-hour coolers, and now suddenly at the show it was all about the cooler that you're just taking down the park for the afternoon. It's and it's like that's the emerging market really of that real sort of social thing that doesn't take the big planning, doesn't take the massive effort. I need a piece of equipment because I need to take this. I need to keep this cold for the next 2 to 4 hours because I'm going down the park with some mates, or I'm going down the beach, or like you say, I'm going on a long car journey, and I just need this food to stay fresh and stay and be all right for me to eat when I pull over in 2 hours' time. It's a lot of companies were bringing out that cooler, which really surprised me, because it's like, well, how many coolers do people need? But then I kind of, as you say, you've got a wall of Yeti. I've got 2 big coolers. I've got my big Stanley, which is always my go-to, safest option for food, keeps everything far colder than anything else I own. I've then got a Dometic, which if I'm going away for a number of days, my food is all in my Stanley and my drink is all in my Dometic. And then I've got a soft Coleman cooler, which it has really got next to no thermal properties in it. It's something that I'm going to keep stuff cooling for, I don't know, an hour really. It doesn't do much more than that really. It is poor. I am looking to probably upgrade that to a better soft cooler. Or maybe it's about time I pulled the pin on a Yeti and got myself a Rode 8. Dum dum dum.
You wouldn't dare.
You dirty rat. You dirty rat. But it's just funny how there's suddenly a new market. Somebody's obviously looked at it and
Well,
thought, how what do we do next with coolers? What part of the need isn't being met? And clearly there's been a focus group somewhere because several brands are going, let's make a cooler that people can use for, up to 10 hours and take it out in the field that doesn't take any ice.
and if you are the sensible person, 80 to 90%, don't quote me on those facts. This is not where you get facts, but you would imagine 80 to 90% of the time it's a night or two camping. For our purposes.
Yeah.
And I know we're talking about day cooler, but that would go into nighttime as well, wouldn't it? So
it would.
so and so that should be the largest market. Whereas, for me, I've got something that should go a good week, depending on how I'm using it and how I prepped it, which I didn't do particularly well. But, make sure that you've got those thoughts and go, what, do I need that rotor-molded cooler with the big brand name on it? Or is it one of these, soft coolers that the only time I'm going away is for a couple of nights? If I'm going longer, maybe you can choose the site that you go to. Maybe there's that place that's got a fridge in the shed that you can go freeze your ice blocks and continue the life of your chilling a little bit longer,
Yeah. It's it's all about buying more gear, isn't it, really, Ed?
It was all pretty stuff. Why wouldn't you want to?
I know. It is all about, do you need that next item? Are you going to get that next one? And is that going to be going to be that? I think I've got a gap, and we are influenced by what is out there, but I'd already been thinking, well, my Coleman cooler is just the absolute most basic cooler. It's great because it's got a reach-in flap on the top to get drinks out of, but that totally
always a good thing.
It is always a good thing, but that in and of itself really damages the thermal properties of the cooler because it's just got this easy open flap on the top. So I'd already been thinking I need a better soft cooler that will last a day or the one overnight rather than having to take my big coolers. And it's interesting that actually the industry has also jumped onto that idea and they're really running with day coolers and
they've jumped on your idea. Did you have the idea?
Yeah, I did.
Well, you did, Tim.
I'm always here to take credit from things.
I think you should do, really. For me, the way I came at it, I've been looking at Yeti coolers for ages. I started off with one of those little £10 coolers that really didn't cool anything. I think your Coleman has got more thermal properties than that had because all it was a double layer of plastic with nothing in between.
Yeah. It wasn't even a vacuum, was it? It was just
no, it was just that was it. And as good as or not, then the thing is, whether you love them or not, for me, I love them. But as soon as you start putting ice and if you put the right ratios of ice to cans in there, they're heavy blooming things, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They really are.
And then you've also got to consider, well, I'm away for 2 days. Is that enough beer in there? What do I do with my food? These are all the problems I had. And so I've doubled it up. I went big. I've then gone smaller again. And then I've now got 2 sizes, which actually works pretty well for me if I, figure out how to actually chill them down properly. But it's just one of those things, and I think what they're really missing a little bit from from my point of view, for the rotor molded ones, I think they're sexy as anything. I don't think they've quite got there yet with the prettiness of the soft coolers.
Yeah, I think Yeti are ahead of most people. I will say that. I do like the fact that they've got magnetic closing tops to them, and they snap really firmly closed, so you know that that's a real good seal on them. Um, the company that we can't remember the name, which I think was it Explore? Might be Explore. Do a quick search. Um,
Yeah.
they had a snapping lid that closed that had inside the soft lid. It was a hard lid, and it made a really good seal. So they'd kind of come up with a good idea for that. And theirs did their new range that isn't out till next year with the self-inflated mat technology. They were really sexy. Um, but it's quite hard to make coolers sexy. Particularly the big coolers, it's really great. It's really easy to make them sexy. Particularly if they're powered, you've got one half the blooming freezer and you can keep ice creams in it. They're cool as. Smaller ones, and like you say, particularly the soft ones, it's quite hard to make them look anything other than a massive man bag, or a big sort of happy shopper carrier, and that's quite a challenge. The Rode 8, the Yeti Rode 8 did look really cool, but because it's rotor molded, it's really thick, and doesn't take a lot inside for what is actually still quite a large cooler. Um, it was cool, pardon the pun. It was good that it had sort of the retro handle from, mirroring the original Yetis.
The old metal one, yeah, but
Yeah,
it's now plasticized. I think you're right with the name, Tim. Explore, Xplor.
there we
And
go.
you can get them in the UK at the minute if you buy from George in Asda. They've only got one size, but a
Ah,
40 can one. But coming to the UK, big style. I think they're a Canadian company, and certainly they had quite a big range there. So
there was some really innovative stuff that they were bringing, which are a bit miles ahead of those ones that are currently available in the Asda. But so watch the space for them coming next year, and I know they've teamed up with a couple of other sort of big outdoor companies, so they're going to get a lot more footfall than just supermarket stuff. I would imagine it's just it's fascinating, really, going to a show like that and seeing the innovation and seeing what's coming in in the next sort of 12-18 months, and that's why we love to go to that show, because it's amazing. It's amazing to see where things are progressing to, and that there's always companies that are pushing the boundaries, even of things that you think are, that's as far as that could be pushed, but they're still going, no, actually, we think we could, what we think you need is something for the next day.
yeah, like I say, I think for most trips where you use a cooler, it's for an event, it's for a night, it's for a weekend. The day cooler kind of market should be much, much bigger than those longer term kind of trips. And yet, the other things maybe.
Welcome to the Casual Camping Minute Mindfulness. Let the sounds of nature take you back to the camping field.
Ah, there you go. Get your day cooler and go sit in the countryside somewhere, even if it's just for like 2, 4 hours, and just chill with your cooler and eat your pack up and eat your lunch and have a couple of beers or a non-alcohol alternative, you know.
You've been drinking.
Did I
You've
mispronounce
been off
alcohol?
today, haven't you? You've been day drinking.
I've not been day drinking. I did go out for lunch, but I resisted having a pint. I was tempted though. I was tempted though.
Right. Well, just a short one this week. We know we over-egged it last week. Thank you to everybody. Remember, socials, please subscribe, please like, please share some of your stories.
Cool. And share the podcast, people. Share the love. Get more people listening, because that's what we really like. All right. But have a good week, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Casual Camping Podcast accepts no liability and does not officially recommend any products or endorse any techniques discussed in an individual podcast episode or shown on Casual Camping Podcast social media accounts. Individuals should make their own informed decision and risk assessment of any products or advice prior to any purchase or use.